Qatar, a nation smaller than many global cities and home to fewer than 3 million people, took on a challenge no country of its size had ever faced, hosting the FIFA World Cup. For a nation this compact, the legacy of such a massive event is not just important, it's something that must be handled with extraordinary care. And when you tally up every expense, from the brand new arenas to the sweeping transformation of national infrastructure, this World Cup becomes the most expensive tournament in history by a staggering margin. Reports estimate Qatar's total spending to be around $220 billion. To put that into perspective, the 2006 World Cup in Germany cost roughly $4.3 billion, a tiny fraction in comparison. Yet only a small portion of Qatar's investment, about $7 to $10 billion, actually went into the stadiums. The rest is tied to long-term infrastructure built under the ambitious Qatar National Vision 2030, highways, transport networks, accommodation, and futuristic city developments. All 8 stadiums sit within a compact 21-mile radius of central Doha, woven together by a state-of-the-art metro and tram system. Fans could move from one match to another in the same day, a rarity for any World Cup. And to combat the blistering desert heat, each venue is equipped with solar-powered cooling technology designed to maintain a comfortable 27 degrees Celsius, even in the height of summer. Energy-efficient, climate-controlled, and built with modular elements, these stadiums were engineered with sustainability in mind. After the final whistle blows, only one will remain as a permanent home for a football club. Another will be dismantled entirely, and 6 more will have their seating reduced, the removed seats donated to developing nations, potentially helping create 22 new stadiums around the world. With that vision in mind, let's step inside these 8 remarkable arenas and explore the story behind each one. Lusail Stadium stands first, the crown jewel of the tournament. Designed by Foster Plus partners, this architectural giant welcomes up to 80,000 fans, making it the largest venue of the event. Its golden curves echo the patterns found in ancient Arabian craftsmanship, inspired by the traditional lanterns once used across the region. Though it opened later than planned, Lusail sits just 10 miles north of Doha and hosted both the tournament's opening match and its grand finale. Once the event concludes, most of its seats will be removed and reproposed abroad, as the new city of Lusail has no long-term need for such a massive arena. Next is Bayt Stadium, one of the tournament centerpieces and the host of the opening ceremony. Holding 60,000 spectators, it's the second-largest venue and continues hosting matches all the way to the semifinals. Its design pays tribute to the traditional Bedouin tent, the Bayt al-Shawar, symbolizing the warmth and hospitality of the region. Despite its location 27 miles from central Doha, visitors can immerse themselves in luxury right at the stadium, with a 5-star hotel and shopping areas built into the venue. Further south lies Janoub Stadium, a sweeping, futuristic structure inspired by the sails of Qatar's traditional dhow boats. Its fluid curves were created by the late Zaha Hadid, whose visionary design stirred global attention the moment it was revealed. With a retractable roof and advanced cooling technology, Janoub can host events year-round, even under the intense summer sun. Completed in 2019, it was the first World Cup stadium to be finished and seats 40,000 fans. Then comes Stadium 974, perhaps the most innovative of them all. Built from 974 shipping containers, this waterfront venue is as bold as it is practical. Its modular construction means it can be fully dismantled and reassembled elsewhere, leaving no permanent footprint. Gazing out over the Doha skyline, Stadium 974 stands as a colorful reminder that modern architecture can be both beautiful and sustainable. The design, crafted by Fenwick-Iribarren architects, showcases the possibilities of modular construction on a global stage. Education City Stadium rises next, located within the Qatar Foundation campus. Hosting matches through the quarterfinals, it is set to become the home of Qatar's national women's team after the World Cup. Shaped like a giant diamond, the stadium shimmers by day and glows by night. Its geometric facade shifts in appearance with the movement of the sun, reflecting strength, endurance, and elegance, a true diamond in the desert. Nearby stands Ahmad Bin Ali Stadium, rebuilt on the site of its predecessor and designed to reflect the textures of Qatari culture. Its facade features intricate patterns inspired by the nation's wildlife and trading history. The surrounding hospitality areas mimic the rolling shapes of desert sand dunes. hosting 7 matches. This venue integrates recycled materials from the old stadium, reinforcing Qatar's commitment to sustainable development. Thumama Stadium follows, instantly recognizable by its design inspired by the traditional gaffia, a woven cap worn by men throughout the Middle East. Symbolizing dignity and cultural identity, the stadium marks the first World Cup venue fully designed by Qatari architect Ibrahim M. Jada. After the competition, its capacity will be halved, with thousands of seats donated to developing nations. The remaining structure will support new community facilities, including a boutique hotel, a sports clinic, and multiple recreational spaces. Finally, there's Khalifa International Stadium, the oldest venue in the lineup. First built in 1976, it has long been the nation's sporting heart. Extensively renovated over the years, it has hosted everything from the Asian Games to the World Athletics Championships. Its signature arcs and partially covered stands make it a landmark within Aspire Zone, a sprawling sports district that includes the prestigious Aspire Academy. Connected to it is a 3-2-1 Qatar Olympic and Sports Museum, merging heritage with innovation. However, as with many massive construction efforts, Qatar's World Cup projects have not escaped criticism. Concerns over cost and environmental impact grew alongside international outrage regarding the treatment of migrant workers. Reports citing thousands of worker deaths and unsafe labor conditions fueled global debates about whether the tournament should be watched at all. In response, several major cities in France and elsewhere chose not to broadcast matches publicly. Yet with the tournament now underway and Qatar fully prepared, the decision to host a World Cup in the Gulf is unlikely to change. The conversation continues, raising difficult questions about ethics, responsibility, and the true cost of global mega-events. As the world turns its attention to Qatar, these stadiums stand not only as architectural marvels but as symbols of ambition and controversy. They represent a country striving to redefine itself on the global stage, to move beyond its size and step into a future shaped by innovation, wealth, and sweeping national vision. Yet behind the polished exterior lies a debate that won't fade even after the cheers subside. For some, the World Cup showcases what is possible when a nation invests boldly in infrastructure and dreams on an unprecedented scale. State-of-the-art cooling systems, modular stadiums, reproposed materials, and urban projects designed to last decades, all these elements point toward a new era of sustainable mega-events. The promise is that long after the crowd depart, Qatar 2030 will continue to transform the nation, providing new opportunities for its people and reshaping the desert into a network of connected, modern cities. But for others, the conversation is far more complex. No amount of gleaming steel or futuristic design can overshadow the questions raised about the human cost behind the construction. International organizations, human rights groups, and global media have amplified concerns about migrant labor practices, living conditions, unpaid wages, and worker deaths, painting a stark contrast to the glittering skyline rising above Doha. These issues have become part of a larger, difficult dialogue about accountability in global sports and whether the world should demand more transparency from mega-event hosts. In many ways, Qatar's World Cup has become a mirror, reflecting not just a nation's aspirations but the moral choices confronting international institutions. Should the success of a tournament be measured by its attendance, its spectacle, and its architecture, or by the ethical standards upheld during its creation? And in the rush to deliver a spectacular event, what responsibilities do nations, corporations, and governing bodies carry toward the workers who make these dreams possible? Even now, as the stadium floodlights shine across the desert night, these questions hang heavy. Some fans cheer with pride, others watch with discomfort. Many find themselves torn between admiration for engineering brilliance and concern for the unseen sacrifices behind it. Yet the story doesn't end with the closing ceremony. What happens to these stadiums, these cities, and the people who built them will ultimately define the true legacy of this World Cup. Will Qatar's investment spark new dialogue about sustainability, ethics, and global sports reform? Or will the controversies fade, buried beneath memories of goals, celebrations, and dramatic moments on the pitch? Only time will tell. What remains certain is that this tournament, from its breathtaking stadiums to the tension surrounding it, will be remembered as one of the most transformative, debated, and impactful World Cups in modern history. It challenged expectations, set new architectural benchmarks, and forced the world to confront uncomfortable realities. Long after the last match ends and the world's attention shifts to the next host nation, Qatar's vast investment will continue shaping the desert landscape. The metro systems will keep running, the new highways will remain busy, and the freshly built districts, once crowded with fans, will settle into their long-term purpose. Whether these spaces become thriving communities or stand as quiet reminders of a historic moment depends on how effectively Qatar transforms temporary spectacle into lasting value. Some of these stadiums will find new life as multi-purpose venues, community centers, or smaller arenas tailored for local sports. Others will be dismantled piece by piece, their components shipped to corners of the world where new generations of athletes will grow within structures built from Qatar's ambition. It's a rare vision, a World Cup designed not to leave abandoned giants, but to redistribute its legacy globally. If executed well, these modular elements could spark football cultures in places where opportunities have long been limited. But the World Cup's true impact stretches far beyond bricks, steel, and architectural beauty. For Qatar, hosting this tournament was a move to reposition itself in global consciousness, to become not just an energy-rich state, but a cultural player, a tourism hub, and a symbol of what rapid development can achieve. The event drew billions of viewers, millions of visitors, and countless opinions from every corner of the planet. And whether people watch with pride or skepticism, no one could ignore the scale of what Qatar accomplished. At the same time, the criticisms that surrounded this World Cup form a narrative equally significant. Worker welfare, environmental impact, and ethical concerns have woven themselves into the fabric of the story. These are not side notes. They are chapters that will be discussed by historians, journalists, and future host nations for decades. They raise uncomfortable but necessary questions. Can mega events truly be sustainable? How can nations ensure that progress does not come at the expense of human dignity? And what must change to guarantee that global spectacles uplift everyone involved? As the dust settles, Qatar stands at a crossroads. The world has seen its capabilities, its ambition, and its wealth. Now it must show how it will carry forward what it built, not only in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of responsibility, reform, and long-term vision. The legacy of this World Cup will not be decided by the goals scored or the champions crowned. It will be defined by how Qatar evolves in the years ahead, and how the world responds to the questions raised during this journey. For fans, architects, environmentalists, athletes, and advocates, Qatar's World Cup becomes a case study, a blueprint for what future global events could be, and a warning of what they must avoid. It is a reminder that progress is not just measured in landmarks and skylines, but in ethics, empathy, and global cooperation. In the end, this extraordinary chapter in football history invites us to think beyond the field. It challenges us to imagine a future where ambition is balanced with compassion, where innovation respects human life, and where the world celebrates not only the thrill of sport, but the values that unite us. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Your perspective matters, and your voice helps shape the dialogue around the world's biggest events. Share your thoughts, your concerns, and your hopes in the comments below. Until next time, stay inspired and keep exploring the stories that define our world.